Hey, this is Kill All Noobs, and I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try a running commentary and just gameplay thoughts on a gameplay that I've done with an M417. Now, the M417 is God's gift to Recon class. It is a beast of a gun. It owns medium range. There's no gun I would prefer to have at medium range. There's the view of last round. Um, Not going to show that round, but it was a really good round on canals where I just raped everybody. So starting the round, team deathmatch on Operation Metro. Going to first thing you want to do is where are you? I'm going to spawn in by dumpster, which is offside of building 2. Building 3 is the offside building, building 2 is the building by the bus, building 1 is the building with the tunnel going through it, and that's how I labeled them. So when I spawn in by the dumpster, and I immediately head up to building 2. Before I do that, I switch to an expo real quick, because I plan on owning building 2, setting down spawn beacon, setting down tugs eventually, and holding building 2 and shooting into building 1. Right there is just the power of the M417. Always use a laser sight. Laser sight, it makes it so much better at hip firing. Here's what the expo is for. Gotta switch to explosive bolts. Alright, there's what the expo is for. And I know, people are going to say, you're glitching, you're hacking. I'm not hacking. Hacking involves messing with code. And I'm not really glitching either, because glitching is messing with the mechanics of the game. I'm not messing with the mechanics of the game, I'm using them to my advantage. I'm keeping the expo for now, and just trying to stay silent, trying to keep people from noticing I'm up here for as long as possible. I don't do a whole ton up here, at least not at first. I start out really conservative gameplay. Knowing what I know now, after having done this a few more times, I would have blown out the wall to my left by the fire right there. I would have blown that out right away to get better view of the battlefield, and I'll show you why later. This is not the best position for me to be in right now, because they're not in building 1. They're having a party right below me. And so I drop out, and I've decided to crash their party. Got a support player watching the stairs. Okay, fine. I've turned my laser sight back on. Notice that. When I'm up on the 3rd floor and trying to avoid confrontations, I turn off my laser sight. And when I go down or anywhere where I think I'm going to run into a lot of people at close quarters, I turn the laser sight back on. Okay, so checking out the minimap, they're still all around here. So trying to pick off a few from cover, and this is where the M417 is unbeatable. There's no gun that is better at that range than the M417. Or pretty much any of the semi-auto rifles, but the M417 especially, because it has such a massive clip size. You can say the others have slightly faster fire rate. I'm gonna say bullshit. You don't use all of the fire rate of any of the semi-automatic rifles. If you do, your accuracy goes through the floor, your bullets go all sorts of nowhere, and it doesn't help. So I picked the M417 because it has the massive clip. And here is the party. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, enough. 7, I think. 8. And jump out the window. I could have sworn I just hit you 5 times. 9. 10. The M417 is a beast at controlling and defending points that you decide you want to take. And their battlefield gets back at me. The rocket from nowhere, from a dude who wasn't even aiming at me. That is Battlefield's karmic system. So I switched the location of my spawn beacon. There's this nice little cubby in here. And I've gotten rid of the Expo, switched to a Tugs. I put the Tugs down near the inside of the wall because I see on the minimap there's a Tugs on the opposite side, probably on the 3rd floor, where another sniper set it down. So now this building is completely covered by Tugs and a good deal of the area outside of this building. So laser sight is off. Something I don't like is that you have to switch the laser sight off every time you spawn in. I think, well, I can see both sides of that one. Yeah, you might spawn in a situation with the laser sight off if it's a static system, like the fire rate is on weapons. Laser sight on, and hello guys, how are you doing? I got 3 of them, I'm happy with that. I get room. No, I spawn in. Set the spawn beacon right back down. Continuous coverage. Always set your spawn beacon, or your Tugs. Always set your Tugs down. It helps your team. Way too many recons I see just pick up the biggest rifle they can get and ignore everything else. So where that Tugs is, I pick up just at the edge of that store there. I don't know what I really call that store, just call it store. And I'll pick up the other side of the bus all the way to the metro front doors. And that's about as far as it goes that way. And I'm already overshadowed by the Tugs on the other side. The other reason I set the Tugs closer to the wall is because if an enemy... Ooh, headshot. That's another reason I like the M417. If you get a clear headshot, you know your reticle's right on the dude's dome. He's going down. It takes 1 hit. I don't care what range you're at. It's a 1-hit headshot. And I mean, the M417 is just a beast weapon for headshots. But as I was saying, the other reason I set the Tugs there is because if an enemy decides to 320 or C4 the wall below me, it will actually drop me down to the 2nd floor, do a decent bit of damage, if not kill me outright. But it will also destroy any equipment that is set on it. So the inside of the floor there is completely immune to being dropped. There, I was firing a little bit too fast. I slowed it down and got him. Now I'm being M320'd because they figured out where I am. Crap. Sorry about that. So, covering these building windows, and you shouldn't have rezzed him, you should have watched out for what killed him. Covering these building windows is one of the best situations I can think of for a semi-auto sniper. And there, right there, that's the reason I turn off the laser sight when I get up here. Because that laser sight tells me where you are, it tells me you're looking at me, and it basically gives me more incentive to pop you in the dome. So here things have slowed down a little bit. I'm just kind of patrolling the, I'm using the minimap to spot for me, figure out where people are, and occasionally looking through. Hey, some dude's C4ing. He's probably sitting on the 3rd floor C4ing it as people come up and blowing it. Or not. He got Scar H. Yeah, just kind of patrolling these buildings. Using the minimap. Whenever I see a dude on the minimap, I'll turn around and shoot at him. They seem to be spawning in Metro now. This map has 4 spawns. It has Metro, it has Bank, it has outside Building 1 and outside Building 2. That was really, really nasty. That I shouldn't have got him. So now they're coming out of Metro. A few of them know where I am. But apparently none of them really care enough to, none of the people who know where I am care enough to get me out of here. Our team controls both buildings, and that's one of the reasons I like having those blown out, is because I can drop down. If I see on the minimap there's red dots, I'm gonna get you. If I see on the minimap there's red dots, or if I see red dots, I can just drop down, or I can just shoot him through the floor. I'm out of ammo at this point, so I pick up his kit, I res my 2 buddies, and I go clear house. This is a really nasty spot right here, although they figured it out fast. Basically, the exploit I used to get up in the 3rd floor before, the same thing. There are ledges outside of the windows, and you can hop on them, you can go prone on them. I'll do that in a bit. But you can hop on them and shoot down, and it's a really nasty trick. This guy gets me because he was sitting there camping. Not that I have anything to say about that, but he was sitting there camping and looking out, so he got me. 40 and 2 though. I'm happy with 40 and 2. I'm honestly a little bit surprised. That my teammates or squad mates, but they didn't spawn on my beacon before. Here's where I go prone on the ledge. See that little ledge? There we go. And you can look down, you can shoot down. It's a really nasty trick. But yeah, I am a little bit surprised that my green dots didn't spawn on my beacon a little bit faster. But, whatever. Laser sight off. You gotta remember to do that every time you spawn in. Getting squad heals and heals from the health pack I dropped down when I picked up the other guy's kit. So my guess is there's a pretty big battle going on, and I'm gonna see if I can shoot down there. Yeah, that's the spawn off of Building 2. you'll typically spawn down below in the street, but occasionally you will spawn by the trash can there, or even on the street by building 3. The loadout I use for the M417 is obviously laser sight. I've said that repeatedly. I love the laser sight. It's amazing. It's versatile because you can switch it on and off. So laser sight, I like the US Holo. It's what I use on just about everything. Laser sight, US Holo, and bipod. I use a bipod because I need the aim down sight accuracy. The foregrip reduces it, and I absolutely need as much aim down sight accuracy as I can get. Occasionally, if I'm actually trying to snipe, like at long ranges headshot sniping, I will switch to the ACOG sight, but I will very, very rarely switch to anything higher than that. I never use the ballistic scope. I think it's useless. I don't like it. And I'll occasionally use the 8X, very occasionally. Now this coming up here is a really dirty kill that I mean, it's just the epitome of all that's horrible about Battlefield right there. Headshot, insta kill as you're running through, you got no expectations, and you're just dead all of a sudden.
Enemy soldier spotted.
Just a really dirty kill. I think that has to be one of my top 10 dirty kills. Or most dirty kills. You know, I may do that. Tell me down in the comments if you want to see like a top 10 dirty kills list or something. That's something I have not seen on YouTube, and I think it would be fun. So we've really got this game in the bag. At this point, it's just rinse and repeat. Gotta love that M417. That's the one thing I don't like. I never really like using the bipod. It's just there for the occasional use. Like if I go into Metro Rush as a defender, I'll set up a bipod on the pipe as they clear the first set of bombs. But very occasional use. I think it actually interferes more than it helps in most situations.
Enemy sniper spotted. Over. Enemy soldier spotted. Over. Hostile soldier spotted. Over.
That's good. You're halfway there. Keep going.
Enemy soldier spotted. Over.
I love it when they run straight at me. It makes my job so much easier.
Yeah, I spotted an enemy soldier. Over.
Yeah, I am going to cut this a little bit short. We're halfway through, but already it's very obvious that we're going to win. At one point, they do evict me from my perch, and I go down, actually switch to a FAMAS just for the close quarters death machine.
Spotted an enemy soldier, over.
But this is the M417 clip.
I spotted an 18
You know,
soldier.
that black pillar really, really looks like a dude at this range through those doors. One of the guys on the other team gets in his head to counter snipe me out of here. He does a pretty good job. He gets me 2 or 3 times, and I decide this place is no longer tenable. I switch to the FAMAS, and rival DMC kills me a few times with his C4. I will put the end of the round up. Should be in less than 30 seconds. And you saw the round previous. This round was a little bit better. Props to my team for holding territory well, despite their levels. What is that? Look at the van. Look at the van. What? Where does that come from? We got a new glitch. Or, not glitch. We got something. Anyway, here's the end game stats. 102 and 24. Or is that 25? I can't read. I'm actually commentating this after the fact. Due to my convoluted recording setup, I cannot record voice during the gameplay. But yeah, if you liked this, like, especially comment. I love comments. And I'll see you guys later.